All right. So this is Kazuki, or Kazuki, as most of you like to call me. I am going to attempt to do a Black Desert video on trading. So I will try to explain this to best of my abilities, and I will try to keep this video as short as I possibly can. So, I know most of you probably know how to do trading, but for those who don't and want to get into it, hopefully this video is informable. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, there is basically, I would say, three different types of trading. There's trading where you get your workers to basically collect the materials, you process it, and then they box it up and you take it to trade managers across the BDO world and do trading that way. And then there's the option number two, where you can go from trade manager to trade manager, buy goods from one trade manager and bring it to another. And then there's option number three, which I'm not entirely sure is very viable because you won't get any experience towards your trading level or anything like that. And that is basically getting your workers to collect your materials. You process the materials yourself, and then you sell said materials on the central market, which, yes, can make a good profit, but you don't get any experience towards your trading. So I won't delve into that side of things because, again, this is a video for leveling up trading and getting into the actual trading side of things and not the central market. So basically, again, the first things you need to know before getting into like super getting into trading is, one, you're going to need a wagon. Most of the wagons you can buy, I think you can buy a couple from the stable itself. Possibly, again, don't quote me on that. Or you can buy them from the central market, or I think you can maybe buy one from the pearl shop. Don't Again, I'm not 100% sure. Either way, you need a wagon to be able to do trading more efficiently. So make sure you have one of those. Now, basically, to get started with the trading, like I said, you do not need a worker empire if you just want to do. Sorry about the movement of the camera. If you just want to do the trading between trade managers and stuff like that, um, it still levels up your trading. But if you want to trade like your own items and stuff like that, you'll need a worker empire. So let's get into that. So basically, if you open your map like such, you'll see on my map, you'll see the different little nodes and stuff like Duas Farm, Dandelion, Karudo Cave, so on and so forth. You'll need to invest contribution points, which, if I back out, it's this lovely little icon right there that looks like a medal. That's your contribution points. You'll need to invest contribution points into your nodes in order to be able to get workers on them. Now, keep in mind, when you do some nodes don't have like, you can't put workers on them and stuff like that, but you still need to connect those nodes to be able to connect other nodes. So it's basically almost like a game of Tetris, except you're not doing Tetris. So basically, for instance, with Gerudo Cave, if I click on it and then I go to the little flag icon, node management, and then you'll see there the top one where it says invest contribution. That will unlock the node, and then to the very bottom it'll have mining. You'll also need to make sure that you invest contribution points into that, or you can't put workers on said node. Once that is done, you can get workers. Now, in order to get workers, you need to Just bear with me. You'll basically need to go to whatever main city you decide to live in. For me, it's Heidel. So basically, for this, you'd click on it, you'd go up to enter, and then you'd have all these different buildings and stuff that you can invest contribution points in to unlock for certain things. Some do storage, some do refining, stuff like that. But I'll get a little more into that later. But basically, the first thing you're going to need to have is, like it shows right there, lodging. Essentially, lodging. Some you can upgrade to give you more workers, but essentially that's how you hire workers: is you get lodging. Once you get lodging, you can then go to a worker supervisor. Currently in Heidel. I'm not in Heidel right now. I'm in Calpheon. I probably should have done this video in Heidel, but anyways, bear with me. So basically, I'm trying to do this all with one hand. Basically, for instance, if you press down on your D-pad to nearby NPC, I think there's one down here where it says, yeah, worker NPC is the one you need. So basically, just right trigger that, and it will navigate you to the closest worker, supervisor, whichever, to hire workers. Keep in mind, it will cost you 5 energy per hiring worker. Now, when it comes to workers, as far as I'm aware, you want to make sure that a lot of people will say you want to make sure that you have skilled workers or higher. For me, I usually just go with the apprentice workers are higher. So basically, green, blue, and yellow. So I think it's like I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but I call them apprentice, skilled, and professional. Skilled and professional is actually what they're called for those ones. As for the green ones, again, I don't remember exactly what they're called. So once you get all that and you get your workers and stuff like that, then you can go back to your node that you have got. Go to manage work. Once, like I said, once you've invested your contribution points, and it'll show up with all your workers. Currently, right now, I got a couple waiting, but I got some that are working. And then essentially, you basically just like right now, I have one working here. Basically, you'd set the number of repeats. I usually do 5,000. That's usually pretty much the standard, or 50,000, not 5,000, 50,000. It's usually the standard. You press confirm, and then you press X to start work, and your worker will start working. Make sure you have a lot of beer, because you're going to need it to keep your workers working. And to basically feed your workers and stuff like that, you would press left trigger up on the D-pad, or depending on where you have it, I don't know, this is where I have it, and then you go down to worker list, hit X to recover, and then A to confirm if you have the beer and stuff, and then it will do all of them. So you don't have to go and try to feed each an individual one. As for the promotion information, I don't know how quite that works yet, because I haven't really delved into that. So once you have all that done, you'll start getting your worker empire, which will get all the materials for you and do all that stuff, and then you can process it. Which processing is you press start, you go down to life, and then you go processing, and then you'll have all your different processing and stuff. And for me, I do a lot of mining and lumbering with my workers, so for me it would be chopping and heating. But that's for a different video. So once you've done that, you've got your materials, all that fun stuff for that trading side of things, then you can get, again, you can enter wherever wherever you're located and stuff like that. And then you can get for instance, wood workbench. That's where you can make your own crates and stuff for your own trade items. So in this case, I can make an ash timber crate, stuff like that, all that fun shit. And then when you want to actually start crafting them, you can come down here to manage crafting. And you will need a free worker in order to be able to make them. You cannot make them yourself, unfortunately. So essentially, basically, you put your worker on it, stuff like that. You will need like the materials and stuff down there. Like you need ash timber, blackstone powder, and stuff like that. You need one blackstone powder and 10 ash timber to make one crate. So you can start doing that, and once that's done, you can put those on your wagons, and then go to the different trade managers and trade. So that's basically how that side of things work. Now the other side of things, like the other option, is doing trading through Trade Manager. Now there's multiple different things that you want to keep in mind when you're doing trade through trade managers, and that is, for instance, right here, like right up there. Whoops, that's you'll see where it says 80%. That is basically the percentage of profit that you'll make off of that. Like, even though it says original price 22,000, it says the 18,000 is the buy price, and then 80% basically, which will fluctuate depending on where you bring it and who you bring it to. Basically, the higher the percentage, the better quality and the better profit you'll make. Also, other things that you want to keep in mind as well, that once you buy, you'll have like a weight limit and stuff like that, how much it'll be. And once you take it to, say, another trade manager, in this case, if I were to take this from Calpheon to Idle, that percentage could be 90%, 110%, or up to a maximum of 130 to 200%. But I'll get into the whole 200%. Usually, most of the time, it's basically anywhere from what I've seen, like 50 to 130%. The other things to keep in mind is the amount of distance. So the further distance you take your trade items, the more profit you'll get. So essentially, if you take a trade item from Heidel and you bring it to Calpheon, you'll get a certain percentage as well, which will show in the items when you go to sell. Fortunately, I don't have an item on me to sell right now because I just sold stuff. But I could probably maybe go buy a trade item here real quick, and then maybe bring it to another spot in here at Calpheon, just to kind of give you a bit of example of what I'm talking about. So I'll just buy one of those, and then go over, purchase all, and then there we go. Hop on my wagon, and then we'll just go to the other trade manager on the other side, Heidel. But essentially, like I said, there is a distance bonus that you will see when you go to trade, and obviously, again, same thing with the other percent that I showed you. Higher the percentage, so basically, the further the distance, the more profit you'll make. So that's always good to keep in mind when you're doing trading and stuff. And also keep in mind when you're doing those long distance, you may run into bandits from time to time that you'll have to kill, or else they can bust up your wagon or destroy your wagon. And if they destroy your wagon or bust up your wagon enough, you can lose some trade items, or worst case scenario, you lose everything. So, which really sucks. So hopefully this works, but so there you go. Yeah, so it worked. All right, cool. So basically, again, up here it says 130%. So I bought it at the other place for about 18,000, and now I can get about 20 or about 11,000. So that kind of brought it up to 130%. And because I didn't go very far, obviously, this percentage right there, which is your distance percentage, is obviously at zero because I didn't go very far. So obviously, the higher those percentages, the better. Over here, where it says the quotation board, basically this just lists all the prices and different profits I'm assuming that you can get from different areas for different items. So if you want to run around and track down those items and trade them to different traders and stuff, by all means be my guest. But honestly, who's got time for that? So basically, essentially, that's kind of how trading between trade managers work. There's also another lovely thing that if you press start and you go down to life and you go to trade info, it'll also give you this lovely little thing where trade info, and at the top it'll say event. Mind you, this isn't available on every server. It does fluctuate over time, and or not fluctuate, but basically come into effect and come out of effect from time to time. So it may not be on your server, it may be, but essentially, if it's active, you'll see a bar kind of like up here. It'll show basically this information, or if you miss it, or if you just want to look at it from time to time, you can go to this, and if you click on it and you hit navigate, it will take you to the trade manager that is currently offering said bonuses, which in this case was the trade manager I was currently at. So again, press start, go to life, trade info, and it'll pop up with this. Those are always good because if you buy trade items from, like, say, Heidel in this case, and bring it to Calphion, it's not guaranteed that it's going to be at 200%, but it's a high chance that it's going to be, that your percentage for your trade value is going to be a lot higher with those bonuses. So keep that in mind. So you might want to keep that in mind while you're doing your trading. So basically, pretty much with all that said, hopefully everything that I explained makes sense. Hopefully this video caught my voice, and hopefully I can post it to the Discord, because I don't have a YouTube channel and I don't know how to work the computer when it comes to videos, because I've never done it. So hopefully, for the most part, like I said, this video was informative as to the best of my abilities. As for whether trading is like very profitable or not, as far as I'm aware, as far as what I'm read, that all depends on your trading skill. Right down here, mine is skill 2 right now, so it depends a lot on that. Plus, like I said, paying attention to the percentages of trade goods and stuff while you're trading them to trade managers and stuff like that. As for doing trade crates and what kind of profit they do from trade crates, like making the trade crates through cities, like I showed earlier in the video, again, I don't know how much profit that makes because I haven't done that side yet. I just figured I would try to give a shorter video. It's about 19 minutes, so I apologize in advance, but I tried to give as much information as I possibly could and try to explain to the best of my abilities. Oh, and before I go, I forgot to mention that when you to also make more profits as well, you want to make sure that your nodes are connected to each city. So basically, I usually just pick the shortest route. It doesn't matter which route you take to connect the nodes, as long as the nodes are connected to a major city or city and town itself, and you trade goods to it. That will also up your profit as well. I forgot to mention that, so my apologies. But again, hopefully this video is informative. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to invite me to a party on Xbox or message me on Discord, and I will try to explain further. But so this video doesn't go too long, I will end it here. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Hopefully it was informative, and I will probably see you all next time. Peace.